Here. Tony. Here's Tony. Hey, guys.
Hello, good evening, welcome, hello.
There he is. You've seen this.
Time for the filthy little fucking chink that was just up here.
When I pulled up this clip, and I'll tell you this, don't pretend. Oh, I didn't even see anything. You know, you see people, they want to go so out of their way. I understand you hate PC culture, same with me, but you see these comments. I didn't even see it. What? I just saw one guy doing comedy. What's the guys? I was blown away.
Same.
You know, I hear rumblings. You know, this happened the first day. I think it was the day after our last show. Tony's getting canceled for something Asian. I go, it's going to be like Shane Gillis. They found him on a podcast going, oh, the Chinese. Oh, yeah, those guys. I turn on this clip, and when he said that, I was fucking blown. I couldn't believe it. Because, listen, I've watched and here's the thing. You know, everyone should talk. I watch every episode of Kill Tony. I've seen them all, every second. In some episodes, I've seen 5 times because I've zoomed in, I've gone over everything. He has never said anything like this on Kill Tony. He's never said anything like this on video. He's rather docile. He's like the lobster I got in my Yeti right now. He's rather calm and boring. He doesn't say stuff like this. He alludes to some tension in the racial industry with some very light racial humor. But he's never said anything like this because when I turned this clip on, I gasped. I couldn't believe what was coming out of his mouth. Did you know even I wouldn't say something like this?
You would say a
Nobody would. You can't call. Listen, you could say the C word. To call someone that in this day and age to call someone that ever, I always say this to people. I go, you could joke around about blacks. You can't go up to a black person and go, hey, N-word.
That would be crazy.
That's insane. Some people don't know the difference. Some people don't understand that joking around and saying the word is different than calling someone the word who isn't cool with it. He's not up to speed. Now, I'm not coming from a place where I don't believe any of this should be hurtful, you know, but that's not up to me. That's up to your teachers, your mothers, all the people who led society down the wrong path. It's too late. They all told you it's the worst thing that could happen to you. They all told you that getting called a bad name was painful, that you're going to need to go to therapy. It's traumatizing. And when they ban people online and when they make such a big deal, it makes those words even crazier to hear. So, yeah, if it were up to me, nobody should be bothered by a word of any sort. A black person should be able to be called the N-word and go, I can't believe you said that to me. You crazy. It should be more about the other person being crazy than them being hurt. When somebody says something crazy to me, I don't get hurt. I go, ooh, hoo, hoo. That's nuts. Stay away. Very scary. But it doesn't physically hurt me. You know how many times I get called a kite?
It's true.
Which I don't even know what it means. What's wrong with being Jewish, Nick? But this is what they've instilled. This is just what it is. The teachers, the people, the Twitter, the social media, the news, they've told these people, oh yeah, the word, that's the worst thing that's going to ever happen. So it's going to sting, and you want it to sting. Everyone's going to love you if it stings. You're a victim now. You're part of this. You're pretty much on TV. You know what I mean? That's all happening subconsciously
and like
to the
I
weak.
always say, we love getting after people for petty, minor crimes at REDBAR. If I was Chinese or black, I would probably love getting after people for this stuff too.
Yes, all the time. Yes. That's the other thing and they're not going to admit that. They love doing it for the same reason we love watching the fools get into problems.
It's entertainment.
It's entertainment, and they love it. They love the thrill. They're too ashamed to admit that they love the thrill, or they don't even know. Like me, I know who I am. I could go, I love making fun of people. I love when somebody goes down. Most people, even Keemstar, won't say that. They all pretend that, oh no, I'm just trying to prevent this girl from being Me Too'd, and I just want to make sure everyone's safe. That's not why. That's the reason. That's what you tell people because that's the only way they'll allow it. But the whole world is in denial. They love the thrill. But if they admit to that, they think they're crazy. They're worried that they're going to get canceled for loving the thrill. So they just go, oh, no, I actually hate Tony because he's racist. No. I hate Tony because of who he is, okay?
Tony motherfucking Hinchcliffe.
I said this the other week. I don't even hate people for their color of their skin, which should be allowed. I think that should be allowed. You don't like somebody for the look of them. I mean, we allow it in other. I don't like this guy because he's fat. I don't like this guy because of his nose. I mean, to me, it's just basic, but I understand. So I go, oh, I don't hate him for the color of skin. I hate him for the sound of his voice. Is that allowed? Oh, I hate the Chinese. Not for the color of their skin, which is, you guys are all focused on. It's for the sound of their voice. I'm not allowed to hate a sound. You're allowed to hate a sound.
You have misophonia or whatever that
I have
is.
misophonia.
I don't know if that's how you say it.
And I don't hate them. I just want to make fun of the sound. All right. Now here's Tony.
We
and
hate
again,
the sound of Tony's voice.
I hate the sound of Tony's voice. I make fun of him. I'm not racist against cables or cords or USBs. So let's see. I hated Tony before he was racist. Yes. It's very hard for people to understand these concepts. Let's see what I saw. And again, I was hit with a boom when I heard him come out like this. And I'll tell you why he came out like this, too. Let's have a crink, too. There he comes. Tony!
Hello, good evening, welcome, hello. How about one more time for the filthy little fucking chink that was just up here? While all you fucking race traders are hooping and hollering, I'm back there watching you puke.
You know, first of all, I just, filthy little, it sounds really bad. I mean, it really sounds harsh. So, again, if it sounds harsh to me, I'm still allowing it. I still think that should be a great, to me, that's a better opener than any opener I've heard in comedy in my life.
It's Tony's best line.
I would rather, legit, hear comedy like this. That I would rather. I wish this was what comedy was. And I wish everyone was mad, but I just wish you couldn't get in trouble for it to the degree. What I don't like about cancel culture is that they could just wipe you out. I think it should be like this. You have the right to say whatever you want. They have the right to be as mad as they want and say whatever they want back. But you shouldn't lose anything. That's what I think is fair.
But we think it's so funny when these guys get fired. So is it worth it?
Hold on. Hold on. Let me amend.
Okay.
Should you lose anything? Probably not. But that's the way the world works. So like Antone's is his business. They have to do what's best for their business. Tony, by the way, was probably hanging on by a thread with this Antone. They probably hated him already. They were looking for any excuse to get rid of this crazy guy. So they're obviously going to do this. Listen, if any business right now, and this is why we hate businesses. This is why we hate advertisers, because when you're beholden to a business or an advertiser, they're just interested in their bottom line. They don't care about you. They care about surviving. It's been tough enough on businesses with COVID. They're not going to risk it all for Tony to yell the C word. So you can't be mad at the club. Where I draw the line is where I think, like, when the banks won't work with you.
Yeah, of course.
That's where it gets too crazy. Or even, I don't think you should be banned from social media for something like this. But yeah, listen. If you want to work with all these people, those are the risks.
And this is how I see it. You've got, like, as shitty as Tony is, he has a 1 in a million chance of being in the position that he is right now as a comic.
Yeah.
And there's a million things that can ruin your career.
Million things that can ruin your career.
Or as a person in the public eye.
As a celebrity, like, remember growing up, it's like celebrities had to walk on eggshells for other things too growing up. Like, one wrong move could end your career. In today's day and age, yelling this can end your career. We all know that too very well. We've all agreed to these rules. If you don't agree with these rules, then don't perform at the clubs that enforce these rules. Don't go on Twitter where you know that's a rule. Don't go on Facebook or YouTube where you know, plain as day, this is a rule, unless you're okay with the consequence for when you break that rule. So I think he should say it, but when they put it on the news, he should go, I think it's funny. Exactly. And I don't think you should even apologize if it's not funny. You know how people go, hey, listen, man, doesn't matter, you know, we're just trying to get up there and make people laugh. And I don't even care if you say this and you're not trying to make people laugh. Seriously, I believe you should be able to say whatever you want for any reason you have. That, to me, is free speech.
But you also have to use your mind
to
figure out when to say what.
Well, you don't have to, but then don't go crazy.
Exactly, don't complain.
When you get fired, okay? You have to just understand this is how it works. I can't act like that at work, right? Not that I have a job. I'm saying if I were you, if you're at work, you can't even swear during like a meeting with a client. You'd probably get fired for that.
Mike doesn't even let me goof off during the day when it's just
exactly.
me and him working on REDBAR.
All right, Peng Chang, cheers.
Puking in a fucking bucket. Oh, we making a gunpowder. Oh, you want extra soy sauce. Oh, you borrow money from us. And you guys just eating it up, you fucking pussy.
I mean, you saw that Shane Gillis, all the things that happened to him, and all he went is, meet Chinese. That's it. What did Shane Gillis do? He went, oh, yeah, that place with the chinks, meet Chinese. That's it. Tony times that by 6. So why wouldn't it be bad for him? I don't understand why everyone's so surprised. So there it is. And then they posted the full version, Ari Shaffir. And this is another problem with their stupidity that I have. Ari Shaffir, do we have that?
Yeah, scroll down to Ari's unedited footage of Tony.
Oh, I know how to save him. If they just saw the full context, they'd know that, they'd know what? Ari Shaffir, the day after, I think, on May 13th, posted this. What the media doesn't show you, Tony Hinchcliffe's full set. It just made it look worse. Again, the people who are after him do not care if it's for a fashion show, a play, a stand-up comedy, a sketch. They don't care what the context is. They only care about the word. You know this, Ari. Everyone knows this. Why are you playing dumb? Like, oh, if they see that Peng went up and did acceptable, you know, and I think what they're trying to show you here is that Peng went up first and did Chinese material. Yeah, Peng went up and did basic, safe, acceptable, racial, I'm Chinese humor. And yes, maybe he even went anti-white, but it's accepted. Don't you see? What Peng did, if you put that on Twitter and tried to out him and expose him before any of this, no one would care. They'd go, he's Asian. He's allowed to do that. Now, is that right? I didn't say it was right. That's how these people operate. We've been studying them for years. All you do is talk about cancel culture. Don't you know how they work?
Know by now.
They don't care if the Chinese guy went up and said, fuck all whites. They don't care if he went up and said, I want white people dead. And then Tony came up and said, oh, yeah, you fucking... They don't care. They only care that the word chink came out of Tony's mouth on video. That's it. Doesn't matter if he says, I love chinks. None of it matters. So Ari Shaffir thought he'd post this, and all the choir, the people he preaches to in the choir all went, yeah, it's finally. Not finally. This didn't change anything. It just made it worse.
And don't forget his manifesto in the description.
Yeah, let's read the manifesto here. Here's Ari Shaffir's manifesto. This did not work. And it's like, is Anton's rehiring him? Is his management coming back that fired him? Are the clubs that took him off the tour dates firing him? Joe Rogan is doing a show that he was supposed to co-headline with Tony Hinchcliffe at the Creek in the Cave. Joe is still doing that show without Tony. Mr. Free Speech, we'll get into that. Wait till you see this one. Big Joe Rogan bust coming up today. Oh, I'm not reading this whole thing. No fucking way. Is there a part that I should read here?
Let's see.
This is crazy. I didn't know it was 5 paragraphs. And yes, the likes that you're seeing here are from Ari Shaffir. These are the people who think it's funny that Ari pulls tissue out of his ass with blood on it. So you're not changing anybody's mind here.
Basically, he's just saying that this guy did a bunch of anti-white jokes.
Yeah.
But I feel like he goes over the top. He says, In this one, the first comic does a super pandering, intentionally joke-free bit about wanting people to be nice to Asians, which I don't even think is true. It wasn't joke-free. He was just doing his...
He sucks. This is Pang Dang. Wait till you see the interview with Pang Dang on TMZ. You're going to go, I can't believe we're trying to even make sense of this. You don't do comedy in front of Pang Dang. It's dangerous.
Dangerous.
Dangerous. Imagine if I tried to do Red Bar with a 13-year-old strict Asian girl sitting right here. I'd be fucked! She'd probably try to stab me. Stay away. What are you thinking, mixing it with this person?
So basically the context he's giving is that this guy did a bunch of anti-white jokes, and Tony was responding to that by being over the top. But here's the thing,
and here's Pang Dang again. You could put Pang Dang's whole set on Twitter and go, he's doing anti-white jokes. They disagree. Okay? The people who are into Asian, they don't look at what he did, his set here, and watch it at home. I mean, his anti-white jokes are like, why white people always like being mean to Asian people? That's it. Yes, he said the word white people, I think. I mean, does anyone know about... Let's just see what he says here. Here's Pang Dang. But again, even if Pang Dang said, man, white people should be the ones in cages. Man, we should kill white people. They don't care. Right now, it's Asian Heritage Month. They only care about them. It's like black people. You go, but they say the N-word in a song. They don't care. Did that argument work? But they say the N-word in songs. Does that work? We know this. We know nothing works.
Here, this is one thing I wrote. So this is just some of the context necessary to understand what's going on here. There's tons more that I could only know by being in the room that day. I don't know what the sound system was like. I don't know what was in the news in the area that day. That all goes into how a crowd receives a performer.
There's nothing to know. Pang Dang went up. He did a terrible set. By the way, Tony, what are you doing even working with Pang Dang professionally? I thought you're a huge comic. What the fuck are you doing a show with this trash comic Pang Dang? Seriously. But Mike, that's how comedy... It shouldn't work that way then. You shouldn't go to a show and it's 35 people and you got to watch 15 minutes of amateur Pang Dang, and the only reason he's here is because he's Asian, by the way. And by the way, the people who got Pang Dang into where he is now, it's because they laughed to his retarded... I mean, this guy's no different than William Hung from American Idol. Remember that? No, I'm a Rocket Man. Pull up William Hung, Rocket Man. He was a living joke.
Didn't he do?
No, Rocket Man is what I want to hear.
Oh, okay.
William Hung was a contestant on American Idol back before the woke generation.
Well, I've never seen this performance.
And William Hung was treated and mocked and made fun of, and everyone loved William Hung, right? Why? Because he was an Asian retard. That's it. He wasn't good.